guys, we have a question today from StevenDunks on YouTube, and his question is, hey Jacob, I completely agree with you working hard to make gains. What would be a suggestion as to doing plyometrics above the improvement level? Like adding weight or just jump as hard as you can and even harder, blah, blah, blah. Oh, great fridge. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. That fridge just popped on, goodness. So the improvement zone is something we talk about in the jump manual. And the improvement zone is a level of intensity that if you are below it, you don't get results. And if you go over it, this level of intensity, then you could get injured. So you want to be in the improvement zone where you're working harder than regular to a point where your body kicks in what are called super compensatory processes to make you stronger, to make you faster, more explosive. So how do you increase intensity? Well, there are a lot of ways to increase intensity, but before you even think about increasing intensity, you got to know what level you're trying to attain. So part of that is knowing where you're at now. So how high can you jump now? How much can you lift? How intense can you do the different exercises? And that's done by measuring. So you always got to be measuring the exercises that you're doing. Once you've been measuring them, then it's not hard to take yourself into the improvement zone, because the improvement zone is just better or near your best performance. That's the zone you need to be training in. If you're training much below that, you're probably just in training yourself to jump high many times over and over. You're training endurance. So we're training your jumping explosiveness, not your endurance. So for example, in plyometrics, if you're doing a box jump, you would drop off, let's say, a 30-inch box, and then you would measure how high you could jump off that box. The first thing you do is find the right box height. So you find a box that is the height that will yield the highest jump. So if you drop from a 30-inch box and then you jump 30 inches, and then you try a 20-inch box and you jump 35 inches, then you want to use the 20-inch box. Okay, so now that you've got the 20-inch box, it's getting you jumping as high as you possibly can in the realm of box jumping. Then you can think about landing perfectly after that and always measuring those touches. So if your sets are, let's say you're doing 8 reps in a set, and if at the end of that set you notice that your last 3 jumps are way below, so you want to cut your sets into 2. So instead of doing one set of 8 reps where your last few jumps aren't any good, do 2 sets of 4 reps. So that's the same amount of reps, but those reps are higher quality, higher intensity. So you're actually doing more total reps in the improvement zone. And then once you get to a level, you could raise the box. Now once you're raising the box, you are raising the intensity. And yes, technically, you could do things like hold light weights or wear a weighted vest to increase the intensity. But again, remember, there are things above and below the improvement zone that you don't want to get into. Below the improvement zone is no results or slow results. Above the improvement zone, remember, intensity is getting higher, is injury. So you don't want to go so far over the improvement zone that you injure yourself. So you want to find really the happy medium about your intensity. So, if it's plyometrics, the first thing is always measure, always know what you're at and what you're reaching for. If you're not reaching for a specific goal each rep, your training is jeopardized. I know that seems silly. Oh, but I'm really trying hard. You have to have a target. A target just changes how you approach the exercise, how you approach each rep. And each rep, that approach, that intensity for each rep is what will determine how your body kicks in that super compensatory process on your muscles, on your joints, on your central nervous system, on your tendons, all that stuff. So there are lots of ways you can increase intensity, being weights, being jump height, but it's all based around having a target so you even know what that improvement zone is. So that's really kind of the important part of this question, because you might not know exactly what that improvement zone is, and so you're thinking, I just need to increase intensity. Well, you might be in the improvement zone already, and so I hope that answers your question. If it doesn't, or if it's fuzzy, or if you have something that's helped you increase the intensity, let me know. And just for the books, I am developing a way so that your intensity and all your exercises can be a very objective process. And so you can really kind of know after each set if you trained in the improvement zone, which will help you know you're training at the highest level. A lot of people, that's the problem, and it'll also help you start to predict your results. And so that's kind of what I'm trying to develop right now. It requires a lot of technology to do that, just because being able to measure intensity on every exercise we do, be it box jumps, plyometric hops, be it squat jumps, being squats, being able to have a number that says this was the intensity is a very scientific thing, and typically the equipment required to do that is expensive and that kind of thing. So I'm looking hard for a way to provide that to the masses, and I've got my ideas around a few things, and I'm excited. I'm excited, very excited for that, because I think if that's possible, it could be a whole new level. So, anyways, Audi.